Imagine this: you've worked hard for decades, saved carefully, and now you're finally stepping into retirement. You picture mornings with coffee on the porch, afternoons with grandkids, maybe even a little travel. But what if one decision, buying or keeping the wrong piece of real estate, quietly threatens everything you've built? That's the story too many families face. And today, we're talking about the hidden real estate pitfalls that could derail financial freedom and how to spot them before they sneak up on you. Real estate often feels like the safe bet. A home is solid. It's brick and wood, not numbers on a screen. But as comforting as that thought is, there are risks many retirees overlook. Let's walk through a few that matter most for seniors and their families. For many families, the house feels like the proudest accomplishment. It's where children grew up, holidays were celebrated, and memories linger in every corner. But sometimes that very home, the symbol of stability, begins to feel like a heavy anchor. Picture this: you retire at 65, excited to slow down and enjoy the freedom you've worked for. Yet, instead of restful mornings, your time is filled with calls to contractors, trimming overgrown trees, or keeping up with never-ending repairs. The gutters clog, the furnace breaks, the roof leaks, and suddenly the house demands more of you than you ever expected. It's not just about the physical work. The financial side creeps in too. Property taxes rarely go down. Utility costs rise, and every little fix, like a new water heater or paint job, quietly eats into savings meant for travel, hobbies, or simply peace of mind. Over time, the house that once provided comfort may start dictating how money is spent, leaving less room for flexibility. There's also the emotional layer. Many retirees hold on because of the memories tied to the house. Letting go feels like letting go of the past. But here's the shift in perspective: downsizing or moving doesn't mean losing those memories. It may mean creating new ones, in a space that fits the stage of life you're in now. I once heard a woman in her 70s say, "This place raised my children, but now it's raising my blood pressure." She eventually moved to a smaller, one-level home closer to her grandchildren. What surprised her most wasn't just the savings. It was the sense of lightness, the relief of having more time and energy for family visits, walks in the park, and the hobbies she had put off for years. Think of it like carrying a suitcase. When you're young, you can handle the heavy one. But as time goes on, traveling with something lighter makes the journey more enjoyable. The same applies to homes in retirement. So, when looking at a house in retirement, ask yourself, do I own this house, or does it own me? The answer may be the difference between a retirement filled with freedom or one quietly weighed down by bricks and bills. For many people approaching retirement, the idea of owning a rental property feels like the perfect plan. After all, who wouldn't want a steady stream of income coming in each month, almost like a second pension? It sounds simple. Tenants pay the rent, you collect the check, and life stays comfortable. But the truth is, rental properties are rarely as restful as they seem. Imagine this: you own a small house across town. At first, everything runs smoothly. The tenants pay on time, the roof holds up, and you feel confident you've made the right move. But then one month, the rent doesn't arrive. Suddenly you're chasing phone calls, sending reminders, maybe even dealing with legal processes you never thought you'd have to handle in retirement. What was supposed to be passive income begins to feel very active and stressful. Then there are the hidden costs. A broken water heater, storm damage, or rising property insurance can wipe out several months' worth of rent in an instant. Even something small, like replacing carpets or repainting between tenants, chips away at the profit. If you've ever cared for a pet that seemed easy at first, only to discover it needed special food, medicine, and constant attention, you know the feeling. A rental property can be the same. It always asks for more than you planned. And while you might be able to handle the responsibilities in your 50s or early 60s, ask yourself, will you want those late-night calls about a leaking faucet when you're 75? Will you feel comfortable climbing ladders, negotiating with contractors, or navigating new rental regulations that can change with every election? None of this means rental properties are a bad idea. For some retirees, they work beautifully, especially when managed by professionals. But even that comes with costs. Property managers typically take a percentage of the rent, which lowers the actual income. The unexpected twist here is this: Sometimes selling the rental and simplifying life brings more peace than holding onto it for a modest return. With fewer responsibilities, retirees often gain not just financial clarity, but also emotional space to focus on what really matters: family dinners, travel, or simply enjoying quiet evenings without worrying about clogged plumbing across town. So, before banking on a rental property for retirement, it may be worth asking, is this truly income, or is it another job in disguise? The answer can save a lot of stress and protect the very freedom retirement is meant to bring. When it comes to real estate, one of the most tempting traps is the so-called bargain property. On the surface, it looks like a great deal, a lower price, a charming look, maybe even a good location. Many retirees see it and think, this could stretch my savings and I'll still have money left over for other things. But what often hides beneath the surface can turn that bargain into a financial burden. Imagine buying a house that seems perfect during a quick tour. The living room feels cozy, the kitchen has character, and the yard is just the right size. But after moving in, small cracks appear in the walls. Literally. The foundation has shifted, the wiring is outdated, the plumbing leaks, and suddenly the property needs thousands of dollars in repairs. What seemed like a safe move now eats into retirement savings month after month. The truth is, houses don't always reveal their secrets at first glance. Even professional inspections can miss issues, especially if sellers make quick cosmetic fixes to cover deeper problems. Fresh paint might hide water damage. A new carpet could cover signs of termites. By the time the problems surface, it's too late to back out. For retirees, this is especially dangerous. Unlike younger buyers who may have decades of income ahead, seniors often rely on fixed budgets, pensions, retirement savings, or Social Security. Every unexpected repair takes away from travel plans, healthcare needs, or simple comforts. And unlike a broken toaster, a broken roof isn't optional to fix. Here's a perspective shift many overlook sometimes. Spending more upfront on a well-maintained, inspected home can save money and stress in the long run. Paying for a thorough inspection, and even getting a second opinion, is like buying peace of mind. It's a small investment to protect decades of financial planning. There's also the hidden cost of time and energy. Managing repairs, scheduling contractors, and overseeing work can be draining, especially when retirement was supposed to bring more freedom. A house that constantly asks for attention isn't just draining the wallet, it's stealing the very peace you've earned. So the lesson here is simple. When considering a property in retirement, don't just ask, how much does it cost today? Ask, how much might it cost tomorrow? That question may be the difference between a true bargain and a very expensive surprise. There's a certain pride that comes with owning a home outright. No mortgage, no debt, just a set of keys that represent decades of hard work and sacrifice. For many retirees, it feels like the ultimate symbol of security. But here's the part most people don't talk about. When too much wealth is tied up in that single home, it may actually create more risk than safety. Think of it this way: if most of your money is locked into the house, it's like keeping your savings in a piggy bank you can't open without breaking it. The value is there, but it's not easy to use. Emergencies don't wait for the right time to sell a property. Medical expenses, family needs, or unexpected opportunities may require quick access to funds, and real estate doesn't move quickly. One couple I spoke with had a beautiful home worth $500,000, completely paid off. On paper, they looked financially strong, but their actual bank account told a different story. With limited liquid savings, even small surprises, like a car repair or dental bill, caused stress. Their wealth was real, but it wasn't flexible. The challenge is that a house isn't just an investment. It's also a place to live, which means you can't simply cash it out without disrupting your life. Yes, there are options like downsizing, home equity loans, or reverse mortgages, but each comes with trade-offs and considerations. None are as simple as reaching into a savings account. Here's the counterintuitive truth: sometimes owning less house brings more freedom. By selling a large property and moving into something smaller, many retirees unlock equity that can be redirected into diversified savings or investments. That money then works in different ways, some for steady income, some for emergencies, and some for fun. It's about balance, not just pride in owning the biggest asset outright. And there's another layer: spreading wealth across different areas can also reduce stress for families. When all the value is trapped in a house, inheritance planning becomes complicated. Adult children may disagree about selling or keeping the property, turning a blessing into conflict. Having more flexible assets can make those decisions far easier when the time comes. So while owning your home free and clear is an incredible milestone, it's worth asking, is too much of my freedom tied up in these four walls? Sometimes, true security comes not from holding everything in one place, but from having choices. Real estate is never just bricks and beams. For many families, a home carries decades of birthdays, holiday gatherings, and quiet mornings that feel almost sacred. That emotional weight is powerful, and it's one reason why inheritance decisions around property can be so challenging. What looks like a financial asset on paper often becomes the center of deep family conflict. Picture this: a parent passes away, leaving the family home to 3 adult children. One child wants to keep it as a vacation house, another wants to rent it out for income, and the third insists it should be sold so everyone can move forward. Each viewpoint is shaped not just by money, but by memories and personal values. Suddenly, the house that once united the family is pulling them apart. This tug-of-war is more common than many expect. Property isn't like cash in a bank account, which can be divided neatly. A home is indivisible, and deciding its fate often stirs up unspoken emotions: guilt, nostalgia, even rivalry. For seniors, this means it's important to think ahead, not just about the financial worth of the house, but about the emotional impact it may leave behind. I once heard a story of siblings who stopped speaking for years because one felt pressured to buy out the others in order to keep mom's dream alive. The result wasn't a treasured memory. It was resentment. These situations rarely come from bad intentions. They come from a lack of clear communication and planning. Here's a perspective shift: the greatest gift parents can leave isn't always the house itself, but the clarity of knowing what should happen to it. Talking openly with children about your wishes, whether that's selling, passing it on, or something in between, can prevent confusion later. Some families even decide together to let go of the house, honoring the memories but freeing themselves from the responsibility of maintaining it. In the end, what matters most isn't the walls or the roof, but the relationships built under them. A property can always be replaced. Family harmony cannot. By addressing the emotional and practical sides of inheritance now, parents may protect not just their legacy, but the very bonds that legacy is meant to honor. When people think about a retirement home, most focus on the house itself. The size of the kitchen, the number of bedrooms, the style of the yard. But here's a truth that often gets overlooked: a house is only as good as the community around it. You can live in the most beautiful home, but if the neighborhood doesn't meet your needs, it can quietly chip away at the joy of retirement. Imagine a couple who downsized into a charming cottage. At first, it seemed perfect, but over time they realized the nearest grocery store was 25 minutes away, their friends lived across town, and medical facilities weren't easily accessible. The home was lovely, but the lifestyle it created was isolating. Retirement is supposed to offer freedom and connection, not long drives and empty calendars. Community shapes daily life more than we often admit. If neighbors are friendly and supportive, even a modest house feels like a blessing. On the other hand, if the area is lonely, unsafe, or inconvenient, even a dream home can feel like a cage. And here's something families sometimes forget: our needs change with age. What works in your 50s may not work in your 70s. Climbing stairs to get into town, driving at night, or living far from children and grandchildren can become bigger hurdles as time goes on. There's also the social factor. Humans thrive on connection. A community with parks, senior centers, libraries, or simply good sidewalks encourages interaction and activity. Without those, it's easy for isolation to creep in. Studies have shown that loneliness can affect health as much as smoking or poor diet. And where you live plays a major role in preventing it. The twist here is that the perfect house doesn't always guarantee a perfect retirement. Sometimes, choosing a slightly smaller or simpler home in a more supportive community brings more happiness than the nicest property in the wrong place. A lively neighborhood, nearby healthcare, and being closer to loved ones can matter far more than granite countertops or square footage. So when planning for retirement, the question shouldn't just be, do I love this house? It should also be, Will I love the life this house places me in? Because at the end of the day, retirement isn't lived inside four walls. It's lived in the moments and relationships that surround them. Real estate can be a blessing or a burden. It may secure financial freedom, or it may quietly chip away at it. The key is looking beyond the paint and square footage, thinking about upkeep, hidden costs, flexibility, and the family dynamics that come with it. What about you? Have you or someone in your family faced a real estate surprise, good or bad, that shaped your financial plans? Share your story in the comments. Your experience may help another family avoid their own real estate nightmare. And if you found this helpful, consider subscribing for more conversations about family, retirement, and the choices that shape our freedom.